welcome to Digital Shift, also known as Corporate Evolution Tales. Join us as we dive into the dynamic world of digital transformation. From illuminating case studies to captivating narratives, we uncover the stories behind companies' journeys toward digital excellence. Whether you are a seasoned corporate leader or an aspiring innovator, our podcast explores the shifts, challenges of modern business evolution. Hello everyone, this is another episode of Digital Shift, aka Corporate Evolution Tales, and today with me is David. Thank you, David, so much for being my guest today and accepting the invitation. How are you?
I'm well, Mariam.
Awesome. Amazing. Okay, would you like to present yourself, what kind of experience you have and all that stuff?
Yeah, well, so my name is David Burchfield, and I'm an entrepreneur and advocate by passion and a professional engineer by trade, and I guess you can say brain damage. My career started really is very interesting. I was sitting at my future father-in-law's table studying to be a drug and alcohol counselor, and he came to me and said, David, you're good at math. Why don't you be an engineer? And I was like, Tom, what is an engineer? And then from there, I learned a lot about it and saw that technical work just like really gave me a lot of motivation. And that's how it all began. And then I started my first business in 2017. I was the first employee there in 2020. That business was called Birch Energy Services. And I'll tell you why we do what we do. To normalize racial inclusivity in the clean energy economy while mitigating the effects of climate change. So how we do that, we work with utilities and communities. On one side, I help the utilities deconstruct some of their oppressive standards, maybe remove some things that could be racist, as well as I work with my communities and I say, hey, the clean energy economy is here. You have a shot at getting legacy if you're an entrepreneur. And if you don't want to take this opportunity, please don't say nothing because it's here. And so it's like I'm playing tug of war. And what we do is energy engineering. We do design, build, mechanical contract as a general contractor. And we do diversity, equity, and inclusion consulting. But during that time, we won a grant from the Department of Energy to create what we call the Clean Air Management System. So after we continued down the path and created a grant and met all the milestones, we had to keep going. And we learned that we had to create another company in order to continue to evolve our software. And that company's name is Building Lens. And so from there, I have Birch Energy, which are the power plant operators who are building scientists and the future power plant operators. And then I have Building Lens that provides accountability, control, and it's the future distributed energy resource infrastructure that's starting in priority populations.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot of information, though I think it's amazing what you are doing generally. And coming to the main topic for this podcast, it's about digital transformation.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts about it?
So we built Building Lens because of the digital transformation. I mean, I've been working in utilities for over a decade, and I love the utilities because they provide our energy, and at the same time, they have a high mandate on them to be available 99.9% of the time. Now, with that type of accuracy that they have to have, they're kind of allergic to innovation, and that makes sense. So I'm trying to transition the demand side of the utility from spreadsheets to actual applications and things that work in a process and remove a lot of the time from the bureaucracy. In my mind, right now, the utilities are like the stock market was in the 80s. That's how wide open they are when it comes to digital transformation.
I see. Yeah, definitely agree. And that's one of the topics that I'm usually discussing as well. And the question is basically, do we need to be afraid of digital transformation? And a lot of people, I think, nowadays are. And it's most probably because of having not enough knowledge or like imagination what digital transformation is. A lot of people think that we are doing digital transformation because of not wanting to have people as our employees and wanting to replace them with a process that is automated thanks to digital transformation. But I don't think that's so, because as we are speaking also about AI, and we have this wow, AI is going to replace everyone, blah blah blah, and yeah, I'm not sure if it will happen very soon. And the same goes with digital transformation, right? So
Hmm.
do you think we should be afraid of it?
Absolutely not. I think it's human nature to fear what we
Mm-hmm.
truly don't understand. And my recommendation to anybody is like, if you're not using the latest technology when you're working in tech, then
Mm-hmm.
you're falling behind. And from my understanding, especially in the demand side management, my career grew as an energy engineer. So
Mm-hmm.
if I can do custom energy analysis, which I can, I was always employed. There's not enough energy engineers. So really, I need one energy engineer to turn into five in order for us to hit our climate change goals. So like,
Mm-hmm.
if we don't have digital transformation, we're not going to make it.
Right, agree. And is there any way that you are identifying like the processes that can be digitalized or automated in your sphere?
Yes, absolutely. And that's what building
Mm-hmm.
lenses is meant for.
Mm-hmm.
So our technology it changes the value proposition a little bit. We prioritize the human life in the building first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then that person, hopefully they understand that, and then they will help us prioritize the building.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked in a lot of as a controls engineer, and if you think about the personal interaction, if you go into an office building and you move their thermostat, the first thing they think of is, why are you touching my stuff?
Mm-hmm.
And if I come to them and say, hey, I'm touching this to make your life better, and I'm also
Yeah.
giving you more information to see how your life is getting better, then they won't look
Mm-hmm.
at me like I'm messing with their building. They'll be like,
Yeah.
you're helping my building, and I want to help you help my building. And that really provides the entrance into the building and then gets the data, because
Mm-hmm.
there's per 50,000 square feet, there's over 1 million data points of time series data
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
every building.
Yes. And when you are speaking about data, so are you using any kind of technology that is helping you or like supporting you on that part?
Most definitely. So, as building control systems become the interoperability of them becomes more and more,
Mm-hmm.
and they more and more have APIs. Then Building Lens sits on top of those control systems and supervises the building from a holistic perspective, including the environment and threats that are coming from the environment.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it so that it's possible.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see. I see.
Sorry. Yeah.
And when we are speaking about the challenges that there are, so you mentioned the communication with people when you are coming and touching their stuff.
Yeah.
Do you think that there are any other challenges that are coming with digital transformation again in your field?
Yes. Yeah. So the concept of energy savings is not truly understood by the public, and that is one of the hardest things to
Mm-hmm.
communicate. So, like when I do energy analysis, I'm calculating future
Mm-hmm.
avoided energy use, right? You can't put that in the bank, right? You can't
Mm-hmm.
put that in a battery. So, based off of that future, I always like to say, every utility has their own methodology of calculating future voided energy use. So it's like the
Mm-hmm.
31 flavors of ice cream at Baskin Robbins.
Mm-hmm.
Now, converting those methodologies into successful algorithms that run by themselves to calculate avoided energy use
Mm-hmm.
is necessary for us to reach our climate goals. And I've worked on the East and the West Coast when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
those utilities. So I believe that we're at the forefront of that, and
Mm-hmm.
that is what value we will add to the world as we conquer climate change.
Awesome. And at the beginning, when we spoke about AI, I'm not sure if there is anything that you are doing, but is there anything in your process because of the data that you are basically filtering or working with it, right? So anything about AI?
Yeah, absolutely. So my co-founder, his name is Paul Bursk. He learned what he does at Honeywell.
Mm-hmm.
I like to say, back in the 1980s, he was working on the F-15 fighter pilot simulator, and so
Wow.
that's when I was in single digits age. So he's
Mm-hmm.
been doing this for over 30 years. So we use machine learning and nodal analysis already, and we've been doing
Mm-hmm.
that for a while. So when my system comes into a building, I collect the data and I correct the air quality issues, right,
Mm-hmm.
immediately. But collecting that data goes to my system, and my system begins to calculate
Okay.
the dynamics of the building, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then those dynamics are used to give true proposals to the building occupants and owners so they can see with their own data, here's where
Mm-hmm.
you're at now, here's where I'm going to put you, and this is the difference, and that's what we're going to save per month. And they're able to
Mm-hmm.
track it and hold and have accountability, and we're looking at it from a holistic perspective. So
Yeah.
as you can see, machine learning, nodal analysis, those type of AI things are already in our
Mm-hmm.
platform and working. We have 3 machine learning algorithms and 1 change point algorithm because engineers like change points when
Yeah.
it comes
I
to
see.
building
I see.
dynamics, and
Yes.
that's energy
Amazing.
mix.
Very interesting. And during these years, I'm sure there are some lessons learned from your side. Will you share with us what kind of lessons you learned during this time?
Yeah. One thing that I've learned is like when I go talk to different stakeholders, utilities, and such, there's this little nuance that you learn, that that there's something there. When you ask a utility, so why do you do it that way? And when they
Mm-hmm.
say, this is the way we always did it,
Mm-hmm.
something's there that could be helped. And
Yeah.
so I think that candid, assertive conversations always get down to the nitty gritty. And once you actually get to the place to where you can help them, another thing
Mm-hmm.
that I've learned is that you need a champion, because if you're changing a process, you got to have somebody champion that process, because the
Right.
best tools in the world don't work. The best tech don't work unless you have everybody using them and believing
Mm-hmm.
them.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
Agree.
my
Agree.
suggestion and learning
Amazing.
lessons learned.
And yes, and related to lessons learned, I think there can be also advices that maybe you would like to share with the other people that want to start or are thinking actually about digital transformation. So, what will be the advice that you will give to those people?
I have a 22-year-old son, and
Mm-hmm.
he's going to get a job. And this is the same advice I give to anybody transitioning to a career: is that if you want to learn something new, I need a humble confidence, meaning humble enough to know that I don't know everything, but confident enough to know that I can figure it out. And therefore, I'm teachable. So, that type of balance is necessary to learn new skills and stay motivated, in my opinion.
Agree. Well said. And related to people with whom you are working, do you think that the experience of the people that are surrounding you is important when doing digital transformation and generally working in your field, or it is about the amount of people that there are?
I believe it's quality before
Mm-hmm.
quantity. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think that people are helping people serve the vision and feel as if they are being productive
Mm-hmm.
is is more important than how many people I touch, I believe. And I
Yeah.
think that because that's true, authentic change, and that's what we're trying to do at Building Lens and Birch Energy Services.
Amazing. Awesome. Okay, well, I think that was my last question to you, David. Thank you so much. Are there any last words you would like to share with our audience?
Yeah, one thing I like to say, is thank you for your attention, and what I like to say to all the audience is help me help you by
Mhm.
prioritizing the least fortunate to save the world.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, on this note, thank you everyone for listening. And thank you, David, for accepting the invitation. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.